Hi folks, welcome into TK Power Sports. This is me riding the brand new Yamaha JetBlaster Pro, and this is me falling off the all-new Yamaha JetBlaster Pro. Yes, this machine is really designed to extract maximum performance from its rider, and when you're pushing the limits, sometimes you push too far and you fall off, and I want to tell you all about it. So in this video, we'll go over my experiences on this JetBlaster Pro, we'll talk about the features, how it handles, and then maybe try to answer the most important question. Is it actually better than the Sea-Doo Spark Tricks? Let's dive into it right now. Before we head back out on the water though, folks, I want to show you all the details here on this JetBlaster. So the JetBlaster lineup is brand new for 2025. It is a new entry in the Rec Light segment, and it's really all about taking on the Sea-Doo Spark. The Spark has enjoyed massive success, and Yamaha did have a competitor to the Spark before, the Yamaha EX, but it still wasn't really directly competing with that thing. This is more of a direct Spark competitor, and one of the main reasons is you'll notice Yamaha also switched over to a polypropylene top deck. So yes, the top deck, everything above the water is composite plastic. Now everything in the water is still fiberglass. That's one of the big differences. The Sea-Doo Spark is fully polypropylene or fully plastic. The Yamaha is a mixed case or mixed materials case here, but that is really what Yamaha was targeting. And with this model, the Pro, they're going after the Spark Tricks. The Tricks was the first one to show up on the scene with the Jet that can really adjust to a steep angle and allow you to pull up and do those tail stands. Well, Yamaha said, we want in on that, and that's why the JetBlaster Pro exists. So now let's go over some of the features. We will start with the powertrain. That's right here under the hood. Lift that guy up, and there it is. This is the Yamaha TR1 engine. That is 1,049 cc's. It's a triple cylinder, and the Pro model gets the high output version of this engine. So this is making 110 horsepower in this application. Now, one other thing that you also always have to mention with Waverunners is that they are water cooled. And again, this is unlike Sea-Doo. Sea-Doo uses liquid cooling. So that is a fully contained cooling unit. With a Waverunner, this thing is actually pulling in water from the lake or from the body of water you're on, running it through a water jacket, and that is keeping the engine cool. So that is an important distinction. Some people like to think that going liquid cooled is more reliable because then you're not sucking stuff up from the lake. However, if the liquid cooled system has an issue, well then you can't, just use the readily available water. So there's sort of pros and cons for each one of these things.
Hey folks, great news. You've seen us pitching giddy-ups before. Well, we ran out last fall. Now we have a whole new supply. These ones right here. Hey, these are the synthetic type. They only come in black in this design. However, these are bargain price, 25 bucks a piece, or we'll sell you a set of 4 for 80. Listen, for anybody that needs a little help getting into their tall trucks or SUVs, giddy-ups can't be beat. So look for the link down below, click it, go right to our website. It's as easy as that. Get these in your truck today.
Looking at storage, there's next to none on this unit. There's one bin right here between your legs that's, just about wrist deep, so that's good for wallet and cell phone. And then there is one small storage bin, if you didn't see it, underneath the seat right here. But again, it's really not very big. We got a little emergency kit in there, and that's about all that's gonna fit. So yes, when it comes to storage, there is not a lot here on this Pro model. Now, there are plenty of storage accessories that Yamaha is happy to sell you, but just be aware that's straight from the dealership. You're not gonna get a lot of places to stash your stuff. Now, let's talk about the Pro specific features. The first one is right here, the handlebars. These handlebars are actually sitting up on a riser. That's going to make it easier to stand up and do some of that more aggressive riding, and that's unique to the Pro model. Another thing unique to the Pro model, those foot pads back here. And again, this is all about doing those tail stands. It gives you a nice place to plant your feet when you lift that nose up. And the other thing, and I've already mentioned it, is the fact that the Jet adjusts to a much steeper angle than any other JetBlaster in the lineup, and that's also going to help you to bring that nose up out of the water. Now this one we're looking at here is the JetBlaster Pro 2-seat model, so you're just getting this smaller seat. And I do think if you want to have fun on the water and really ride aggressively, the 2-seat's a little bit better because you're just getting a smaller seat, a little bit less weight. One thing I don't like though, there's absolutely no handles for this passenger. I think they really easily could have put a strap over this seat. That's something you commonly see in PWCs. Now, talking about the handlebars and some of the controls, we do have, very typical Yamaha ride controls. That's what they call their system. So you get 2 levers. Right is going to put you in forward, left is going to be reverse, and then if you just pop that left one, that's going to put you into neutral. Over here we have our trim, TDE, cruise, and no wake mode. So lots of cool features here. The trim adjust is pretty self-explanatory. TDE is the docking mode, which is going to bring you into a dock at super slow speeds. I've used it a ton of times and it works quite well. Cruise control on these things, once you're at a set speed, you hold cruise, and that allows you to squeeze the throttle right to the bar because that's a more comfortable position for your hand. And then the Waverunner will keep you at that set speed. And then the no wake means that if you're in a no wake zone, but you want to travel a little faster than just idling, hit that button and it's going to creep you up to, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 kilometers an hour, something like that. Just fast enough that you're not just putting along, but also not too fast that you're not creating a big wake behind you. So yeah, some pretty nice usable features on this Pro model that I like, and that stuff can be found on other JetBlasters as well. That's not Pro specific. Now finally, I think we'll come back here to the back and you can see a reasonably sized deck back here with some really nice decking materials, plus just the graphics. I mean, we got to take a second to acknowledge, I think this thing looks super cool. I think the graphics, they nailed it. They're going for that 90s retro look. I especially love this pass-through right here. I don't know, to me it looks really like supercar-esque. So yes, when it comes to the way it looks, I think Yamaha absolutely nailed it. I do have one big issue with the design though, and it's right here on the seat. Yamaha, why did you put this big black accent here? If I put my hand on this blue part of the seat, I can leave it there. It's warm, but it's not bad. If I put my hand on this part of the seat, and that's it. Like literally will burn your skin. I just think this is one of those things where a designer in a studio thought, ooh, that looks really cool on there. But no one ever said, hey man, when you get out in the sunshine, you don't want to be sitting right on a piece of black material. So this is a mistake. PWC seats should never be black. I'm going to stick with that. So yeah, I really don't like that. Outside of that though, I think this thing looks awesome. Hey, why don't you drop in the comments right now and let me know what you think of the styling here on the JetBlaster Pro. Alrighty folks, here we are in the water on the JetBlaster Pro. Now we're gonna do some fun stuff, but first I just want to talk about slow speed cruising and stability. Stability is always something people care about with PWCs, and when you go for a rec light unit, that is the smallest units on the market today, they're usually less stable than the bigger, wider, heavier units, things like the VX Cruiser or FX Cruiser from Yamaha. So I'm going to show you, even while on the move here, I can lean over and take water in that footwell pretty easily. Now, I don't want to say it's super tippy because it's not, but what it is, it has a really low gunnel design down there. And I noticed this as compared to other PWCs as well. This wall right here, it just doesn't come up that high. So the footwell is not very deep. And because of that, I do feel like it's super easy to lean and take on water. And I would say that's probably the most common way that PWCs get flipped around docks or at slow speeds is people get on them and unknowingly lean over and you take on water in the footwell, and then suddenly the machine is way heavier on one side and it just goes right over. So yeah, in the stability department, like I said, the overall kind of side to side doesn't feel too bad. I just think it has a lot to do with this design down here. Now I think the advantage of this is sort of a lower step-in height. So if you are stepping in just off the beach or something like that, or maybe even climbing up the side out of the water. But yeah, for the most part, I just think that that design, yeah, allows it to take on water quite quickly. Now, speaking of climbing up onto this thing, yes, I did bail earlier. I was doing some sweet tail stands and I ended up in the lake, so then I had to climb up on the back. And there's some good and some bad. On the good side, that boarding step, sure, it's small, but it is massively helpful. I was able to put my knee on it, then kind of grab the seat, then get my foot on it, and then haul myself up over the back end. Now we got to talk about power and handling, but for that, let's go ahead and get some speed. And this is the first thing I'll mention on the Pro, the handlebar riser, it also works quite well. When I stand up, my arms are at a really comfortable position. I'm not reaching way down like this or anything like that. So yes, I like that handlebar riser and it totally does its job. Standing on this thing, this is a comfortable position, which I appreciate. Now another thing I actually kind of like to do, even when cruising at speed, is to get my feet back here on these wheel chocks. It helps me, I can really move my weight around the machine this way, and then all of a sudden, if I want to lift that bow up, I'm already ready to go. So I actually kind of like those wheel chocks too, even just for cruising. And then yeah, for just general riding, it's a very comfortable seating position. It's a tall seating position. I can squeeze my legs on this seat too because it's so skinny, and that's good for aggressive riding. One more place to hold on to is very important because the Pro can make turns like this. It absolutely rips those aggressive turns. It just bites in the water, and once again, the G-forces on my body are immense. I really have to hold on. After you ride this thing hard for a bit, yeah, it tires you out. It really is a workout, but that makes this athletic seating position, tall on the bars, and able to squeeze my legs that much more important. So all of those things you want out of sort of a machine that's meant for aggressive riding, they are right here. And then just talking handling, it is excellent as well. Like I keep saying, the bite on turn-in is super aggressive. You can really steer with the throttle quite well, coming through corners, really throttle into the corner and get that back end to rotate, but it never feels like it wants to lose traction with the water unless you make it, unless you lean your body weight over and really try to do a power slide or something like that. It just always wants to bite and get sucked down into the water. And then the fact that we have the 110 horsepower high output engine here, that's nice as well, because when you are doing those fun tricks, and again, you can see some here, when you come to a dead stop, you want to blast back up out of the water, but you need enough power to do that. And yes, the 110 horsepower, even for a heavier rider like me, has felt absolutely excellent. So I got to tell you guys, for a fun-focused, aggressive machine, I think Yamaha thought about just about everything. Now let me talk to you a little bit more about the tail stands or water wheelies. Some people don't like the term water wheelies because there's no wheels, but I think it's fun, so I'm calling them water wheelies. What I love about them is how accessible they are. You don't need to be a pro rider, you don't need to be experienced at all. You can get on here, pop that nose up thanks to the trim, and then you can figure out how to do those wheelies. The first time you do it, you'll probably fall off, but as you get better, you realize you can balance this machine just using your body weight. You don't even really need to use your hands that much, and once you get good at sustaining them, it's really rewarding to get that nose up, try to stand it up as straight as possible, and then just, yeah, work the bars, work your legs, and keep that thing moving along. And then when you get really good at it, you can do tricks like little power slides, stop in place, then pop the nose up, all kinds of fun stuff. So yes, for a beginner rider, you're gonna love this because it's so accessible to do awesome tricks. For an experienced rider, you're gonna love it too because it gives you all of the tools necessary to do some really wicked maneuvers out here. And one thing that is important I wanna mention is it goes from trim all the way down to trim all the way up quite quickly. I would say maybe 2 to 3 seconds, and that's important when you wanna quickly transition from down to up. So yeah, the water wheelie aspect here is really good. So the big question, how does it compare to the Sea-Doo Spark Tricks? I think because the Spark is still slightly smaller and slightly lighter, you can get a bit more of an aggressive riding experience out of it, but I am splitting hairs here. This JetBlaster Pro does just about everything the Spark does. It's an incredible amount of fun. And then because it's a little bigger and heavier, I would say this is a better unit for larger waves and larger water. Plus there's some features here you're not going to find on the Sea-Doo, like the TDE docking mode. So overall fun, I'll give it to the Sea-Doo just a little bit, but as an entire package, this thing absolutely competes directly with that Spark. Well folks, we have arrived at the end of this video. Now I still have to drop the price on you. So here in Canada, this JetBlaster Pro is going to sell for just a little over $15,000. Now I have to tell you, in a world where PWCs keep getting bigger and heavier and more expensive because they're packed with all kinds of features, it is nice to see a brand focus on an entry-level model that's small and lightweight, a little less expensive, and is built for nothing but pure thrills. And I gotta tell you, this JetBlaster Pro absolutely pulls that off. So yeah, that's it for this one. Now, of course, I need to hear from you. Why don't you drop into the comments, let me know what you think of the JetBlaster Pro and everything you've seen in this video. As always, while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join, become a member of TK Power Sports, and then come right back here to the channel and see what we're testing next. And if you'll excuse me, you know I got lots more riding to do, so I'm out. See ya!